Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another card making video. Doing a colour challenge today, the SU Colour Challenge on Facebook. So I'm working with Coastal Cabana, Gorgeous Grape and Lemon Lolly today. The inspiration picture for this is lovely, which will be on my blog. All the links will be in the description to that. Do check it out on Facebook if you want to see some more inspiration with these colours. I'm going to use the beautiful butterflies and the coordinating dies to make my card today. I did and ah about what colours to use, what products to go with these, what to use with these colours really, and in the end, yeah, I settled on one of my favourites. This one, I use the small butterfly a lot, but I decided to use the nice die cut big butterfly this time around, and I've combined it with some embossing folders as well. So I'm going to use all three colours, and the card I'm going to make on screen with you, we'll use those again, but all in different combinations. So as you can see, I've used Lemon Lolly and Coastal Cabana as the card bases. I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape. We're going to pop in a little pop of colour in this little banner behind the sentiment, and then the butterflies have got some ink on them as well. So all three colours being used, rotated around on the different elements of the card. This one we've got the eyelet embossing folder in the background. This one's the turtle textures, okay, and then we'll use a different one for we're going to use soft waves, I think it's called, this one, okay, for the one we're going to make today. So let's pop those to one side for a moment. I've already done a lot of the cutting and scoring, so as I say, we're going to use Gorgeous Grape, okay. It's Coastal Cabana that we'll use as the little banner. I've already die cut the little body of the butterfly ready to go, and the sentiment banner, and then I've already cut what I call a mini layer. Okay, so this is Gorgeous Grape two-tone cardstock, so you can see this is regular A4 cardstock, the thick stuff to make the card base. The two-tone cardstock is lighter weight, has a white core to it, which is useful for techniques, but you also get two shades of the same colour, which is really helpful when you're working with monochromatic designs or things that you want to coordinate together. So the dark side is a very close match to the cardstock, as you can see, okay, and then when you flip it over, you've got that lovely contrast colour but in the same shade. Okay, so we use the lighter shade to add the contrast so it pops a little bit more. Okay, that's exactly what I did on the other card. So we'll emboss that, and then I had a white layer. So originally I was going to use the small butterflies, and I die cut them all out and everything, but we're not going to use the butterflies. We'll use those for another project, but I'm not going to waste this layer, which is 3 1/8 by 4 7/8 of an inch, because once we put that on top, no one's going to know we ever did that. Okay, you can just keep it a secret. So we'll emboss this. So using the waves, soft waves I think it's called, embossing folder. I'm going to put it in this way round though, so the waves go across rather than up and down, and just pick your spot really. There's lots of different elements on there that you can go for. I'm not sure it really matters, okay, but you might have a preference. And this is a 3D embossing folder, so your Stampin' Cut and Emboss comes with all the plates that you need. You always need a base platform. The number 2 is for die cutting, so we don't need that, okay, and for 3D embossing we just need the base platform, our cardstock, and the dark grey platform, which is plate number 4, which is here. Okay, so we'll just roll that through, oops, and that's what's going to give us our nice embossed backgrounds for our butterfly. And we'll get all that layered up. Okay, and while we've got the machine going, let's do our die cutting. The only thing we need to die cut is a lovely embossed. Probably use both sides actually, okay, but that's the side we're going to use. So I'll pop that away. So the only die cutting we need to do while you're here is to cut out the this detail butterfly. So we'll do that. This is the White Willow cardstock, which is similar to the two-tone. It's a slightly lighter weight cardstock, but it's good for these you know, lightweight embellishments. We need number 2 because we're die cutting. We use a cutting plate, which is very scratched up, but you can keep using it and using it and using it until it disintegrates. Okay, and then I've got a clean, it's not been cut into, top plate. It will get banged up because of the pressure, so you'll get divots in it, but you won't have cuts in it. So yeah, the White Willow is lighter weight cardstock, great for layering. That's what I've used on the other layer as well, and for the sentiment. Okay, but I like my cardstock for things that I need a bit more sort of structure to, and I still make card bases with the thick basic white, which you'll find on in the online store. It's not in the catalogue. Okay, right, so die cut's a dream. This Willow White, it's thin, like I say, it's a thinner lighter weight cardstock, but it's not flimsy. Okay, and the only thing I wouldn't do on it is stamp with not stamp, colour with alcohol markers. It just bleeds into the cardstock too much because it's not as thick. Okay, that's most of those out, so I'll pop out the actual die itself. See, it's reasonably robust, this cardstock. It's fine. You know, this is a delicate die cut, so you still, you know, you need to be careful with it, but it's not going to just disintegrate on you like some you know, cheaper thin cardstock that you might get from a stationery store or whatever. Right, let's get rid of all those little bits, and we'll pop out all the rest of those when we go to put that away. Okay, so our butterfly then just needs a little bit of ink on the body, so we'll just use just a scrap of paper just to do that. Let's get a clean one so you can see. So I'm just going to use blending brush with some ink on it, and I haven't even gone back to the ink pad. I know that this is going to be light yellow, which is lemon lolly in our case, because this is my light yellow brush. Okay, and that just adds that nice little bit of colour to that butterfly, which is not as subtle, but it's there nonetheless. And what we need to do is just get the body of that butterfly on and in place and dry while we put together the other elements of the card. So I'm just going to use a dab of wet glue on this sort of body section, and we'll use the take your pick tool to bring that across and position it where I want it, so it's covering up that section in the middle. There we go. Okay, so we'll just pop that to one side just while it dries. This we need to adhere to the white layer here, so I am going to use my stamping seal. You just go slow along there and it will be a couple of bits in the middle, there's holes in the middle, so it's not going to adhere everywhere, but it's going to be secure enough. And we'll just lay that on. You might find that your layer kind of changes shape or size just a little bit when you run it through in your embossing folder. It kind of depends. This one isn't too bad. There we go. So obviously just press that into place. And before we stick it down, I'm going to pop this behind it. So again, I'm going to pop some seal across the middle, just to get that stuck. And then I'm going to use a little bit of tape just to secure it, because I'm going to pop the whole thing up onto dimensionals. Okay, and I'm just going to use a bit of grid paper. This is happens to be an offcut from when I cut the layer. So this again is two-tone cardstock. I'm using the dark side. Just wanted to make sure it's actually glued on the right side then, because I have used the dark side. It's an inch strip, just when I was cutting down the layers, and it's going to be an inch from the bottom of the card. So I'm just going to use the grid paper to line that up a little bit and just help me with that. That shifted a little bit, but that one's in the right place, so just make sure that's straight. Ish. Sometimes it's hard to tell when things are cut in an interesting way. Still don't feel like that's straight. That's better. Okay. Let's say we're lifting the whole thing up. So rather than just rely on that little bit of seal, which is really strong. I've never had anything fall apart on me, but that's just going to give it a bit of extra security without impacting on the design. And then we're going to use dimensionals to pop that up. Okay. Oop. Love dimensionals. It's a great way to add something to your card. And give it that touch of luxury. Okay, and then these make lovely little handles to hold that and get that centered onto the card base. So you've really got that nice, it shows up better on this darker colour, but that two-tone element really does speak for itself when you layer it up like this, and you've got the dark and the light really showing off together like that. Okay, we're going to do the sentiment next. So I've already cut this with the dies, the beautiful butterfly dies. It's a nice little shaped, and this happy birthday greeting we're just going to do in black. Okay, and really that was just a thing that I didn't want to stamp a sentiment in Lemon Lolly and sort of upset the flow of all my other cards. So to keep it consistent, I'm just going to use the black, which is totally allowed. And it just sort of pops from the rest of the card anyway, in my opinion. Okay, so we'll just use a plain black sentiment, such as Memento ink on there. And it's a nice straight sentiment, so it's easy to line up on a pre-cut die cut. A lot of the time I will die cut after I stamp, so that I can make sure it gets lined up. But again, you know, I'm trying to do this in a reasonable amount of time for the video as well. While also showing you some hints and tips along the way. So we'll get that centered across there. So that little banner's just going to have that little pop of colour across there, like so. And this butterfly will be nice and dry enough to add on. So we'll just add some glue to the back of the body there. there's a sort of nice piece just here and here to help sort of secure the rest of it. I don't want the whole thing to be stuck down. I still want it to have some movement, so you could bend up the leaves, the wings a little if you wanted to. Okay, so we'll just secure that, and those, like I say, those little bits of glue are just going to help keep everything else secure, but you could still turn those edges up if you wanted to. Okay, so we'll just leave it there. That's going to obviously need to dry properly, but we'll just get our gems on there. These are just basic rhinestones. I'm just going to use the lens, and I'm just going to do 5 of these, okay, in and scatter them up the card. I don't want that in a line there, so let's put that there. It's a bit in a line, but it's fine. It's okay. There we go. Right, so 5 rhinestones just to sort of glam that up a little bit and just fill in some of the blank space. Okay, using Gorgeous Grape, Coastal Cabana and Lemon Lolly all together on one card, featuring some two-tone cardstock to get that extra depth. Okay, there's Lemon Lolly, there's the thing. I think the Lemon Lolly one might be my favourite, but you know, colour is a really subjective thing. You can mix and match those embossing folders like I have done as well. Okay, so yeah, any combination you like. Obviously I was using one prescribed by the challenge, but I think that layout's really cute. I really like it. Really fun to make as well. You can do lots of it, sort of prep it all and then batch it all up as well. So really good card if you want to do a whole set of them for a different occasion. Obviously these are for birthday cards, but that could be any sentiment you like in your collection. Alright, that is it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed it and it's given you some ideas. Do like, subscribe, share with your friends. All the links will be in the description to the blog, which will have a few more photos in there, and links to the products I've used. Do check it out. Right, that's it. Stay safe, take care. See you again soon. Yeah, bye bye.